Welcome back to Session Elements with Mr. Fix Your Mind to Die. Alright, today guys, we're gonna talk about how new music is stupid. I'm just
fucking with you, Grandma!
Okay, it's the toilet zone. You know what it is. It's the toilet zone. We make beats here, usually Memphis rap beats, but we're gonna get stupid in depth with the DR5, the Dr. Rhythm section. Today I'm gonna basically just make a whole track, everything sequenced from the DR5, using it as a MIDI controller for multiple pieces of gear, just to show you kinda you don't need a fucking workstation keyboard necessarily to make really elaborate beats. There's a guy called Square Pusher who, go listen to his fucking early music, and keep in mind that most of it is sequenced on a DR660. Which is even more limited with sounds than the DR5, you know, it's just the bass and drums. So he was using it to trigger, like, you know, synths, samplers, it's like really crazy fucking drum and bass music. So he's using the roll function on the DR660 to make those like snare rushes with the drum loops. And so I'm going to show you kind of how to do similar production, although, you know, I'm not making fucking drum and bass. We're making fucking hard-ass rap beats here. So, but everything is going to be sequenced from here in a similar way. The setup is similar. You'll kind of see if you want to use the 660 as a MIDI controller. So that's basically the focus. But I'm going to show you something else real quick. I'm going to be using sound from the Kawai K1M. And I know a few people have mentioned this machine, like that they're interested in getting one or that they have one, and so I'm going to show you something really fucking crazy with this thing. Every episode there's cars. This is like deep information. I think I found it in a YouTube like years ago, and I can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but I'll put, you know, a link or whatever. If you bought one of these used, it might have a different library than the factory library. Mine did have the factory library. So it's, you know, it's still a lot of sounds, but I'm going to show you how to get like 10 times as more sounds out of this thing. And that's just the presets. I'm going to show you how I put new sounds on this thing. Okay, so this is the Kawai US website, and they must just be fucking sick ass dudes because they still have all this shit out here, and it's 100% free. You see I've scrolled down, you can see the link up there where I'm at on the page, but I've scrolled down to the K1, and that's a zip file with every single library, every single like factory library that you would get from cards for this thing. If you were to buy some of, you know, you buy a new sound bank on a card, this is what would be on that, and it's just free. And it basically takes 5 minutes, and you can load any one of these libraries. You need to download the zip file. Helps to have the PDF because it'll tell you what all of them are. Can't screen share on my old ass fucking desktop, but that's the one I have set up to do this. Okay, so what I got going on down here is that I've got the MIDI in from my audio interface going to the MIDI out on the Kawai, and then the MIDI out going to the MIDI in on the Kawai. So just like I would with the microKORG, except I need this to like direct transfer the information. On mine, the red light's blinking, that shows it's getting the MIDI information. And this is plugged into my desktop rather than the laptop I usually record on. So the other thing you're going to need is a program called MidiOx. And this is how you transfer the MIDI information. So if it's working correctly, it'll say this with no errors. This open MIDI input, open MIDI output. So I have to have it on channel 1 to do this on the Kawai over there, and what I want to go to is view SysEx. And this is like system exclusive data, so it's not musical information. It is just information telling, you know, the various presets on the machine. And you go file and send SysEx file, and this is all the K1 libraries here. So you got fucking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, like more than 10. So I'm just going to go with one at random. I usually have the PDF open, kind of pick what I want to do, but we're just going to go, I know the J ones are weird, so I'm going to go J101 and open, and it's going to do this. And you see it's file progress, and if it's working right, it'll go from blinking to solid, that little cursor there. And as you can see, it's solid, so it's sending the information properly. Back over here, it doesn't take too long, really. Alright, so it says it's done. So now if we go back to this, you see how it was on Beverly was the first patch, and it just immediately went to these other ones. So that tells me that it's done. I got an entirely new library on here of sounds to fuck with. You're not going to lose any information because you can reload the libraries you like if you want to use them again. And you can reload the factory default if you really like that one. But yeah, just a cool trick. Something I thought I'd share along the way. Now we're going to get into the beat. Okay, so I got my little workstation right here. Got the DR5, of course, got the K1M there, and that is now I've got it connected to the DR5 as the MIDI controller. And so to use that, I'm going to select one of the tracks. I think I showed how to do this before, so we're kind of going to breeze through this, but basically just one of the tracks is not the drums, and you got to have the MIDI channel the same. In this case I'm using 3 just arbitrarily, and then you just got to have it turned all the way down so you're not doubling what you're playing with the sound on the DR5. So I'm going to pick out a sound on the K1 right now. Man, I forgot that this library had that glass sound there, and that it's also got cosmic. This is a good library. I used to use this one. I think I used it a lot on, maybe the Combat Shock was where I was using this one a lot. It's got a lot of those like dungeon synth kind of sounds. But so yeah, I'm going to go with the cosmic, kind of just write a melody on the DR5 with it. I got the drums there, and now I got the K1M doing a sound there too. Ooh, you hear all that terrible background noise from my sampler? Yeah, that thing is pretty noisy. I'm not using the SU10, I'm using the big guy, EMU ESI32. I'm just using 2 chops here, and I've got them. I actually slowed the beat down a bit so it matched. Here's kind of what I've been doing. I'm probably just going to record this little pattern here. So I picked out the choir pad from the DR5. That's going to be the next thing I write here. A little riff with that. Okay, so instead of going with another synth pad, I'm MIDI controlling the Proteus X whatever the fuck, I don't know. It's an EMU synth. It's another rack mount, so it's another one without a built-in keyboard, so you'd need something to control it, and we're using the DR5. But I actually picked one of their drum libraries because I thought it could use some more percussion. And some of the percussion on the DR5 is good, but I'd rather have a different sound altogether. Yeah, that's all I'm doing here, is setting each track on the DR5 to a MIDI channel, and then I'm picking the corresponding MIDI channel on these machines, muting everything else, you know, like muting the track on the DR5, turning off the other MIDI channels in some cases, because some of these, you know, it'll be automatically set for all of them on, 1 through 16. So if you're using 5, you know, 5's not turned off on the other machine, you're going to be triggering that channel too. In the case of the Proteus, you could put a different voice on each one. If you got questions specifically on that and how to set the MIDI channels, just hit me up, Gmail, Instagram, whatever. I'll answer those, but that's kind of just a rough walkthrough. So I'm just going to program these drums here, and then that's pretty much the track. I've used all 4 tracks, only utilizing one sound from the DR5 in addition to the drums there. Alright, all that's left to do is mix that one after I run all the sounds in there. I might show the mixing, I might not. We'll see. Hope you learned something. If you sent beats, they're going to be in this video. If you want beats, send them. They'll be in the next one.